Let's get started.
Everybody, and welcome to the bonus stage podcast, episode number 12. As always, I'm your host, Lloyd Hannison, and joining me, Jeff Ward.
Hello.
How's it going, Jeff?
It's going good. It's going better than you.
Yes, I had some medical things sitting in the emergency room for 8 hours yesterday, trying to get my shoulder looked at, and yeah, fun stuff.
I gotta give it to you for people might think, well, how does he need both arms to do a podcast? You got a lot of buttons over there. You got a lot of buttons and levers and dials and stuff.
Considering that half of it is on this side, which is where my sore side is, yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it kind of sucks, but
yeah.
I'm all self-medicated, so it'll be good.
We're like the post office here at the bonus stage. No matter rain or sleet or whatever the thing is, no matter broken shoulders. Yeah,
except for the weeks that we miss. And those don't
where
count.
It's like, I have a headache.
Those don't count.
Headaches will take a game. Like, there's no way. I'll go through a blizzard to do this show.
See, I need surgery where they're gonna like hack into my flesh and tear the muscle apart to repair things. That's apparently not as good as a headache to keep you away.
No, it's not.
Cool. So bonus stage episode 12. It's getting close to the end of October. I can't believe how quickly the year is going. And the end of October means the start of November means that much closer to the release of the Wii U. So I'm getting pretty excited here.
Yeah, when is the release date?
I believe it's the
third week.
Yeah, it's like it's the day after I get back from a trip. So it's going to be like really great. I leave on the 12th. I get back on the 16th. So I think it's the 18th.
Cool. Early Christmas at the Hannison house.
Yeah. I'm really, really quite. Yeah, November 18th is what it is. I just did a quick Google. It's gonna be good. I can't wait.
You know what? This just popped in my head, but this is like when you get it, we should do like an unboxing video, right? And we should do just kind of like sit down on the couch, set up my camera, and we'll do like our first impressions or something. Something different. I think that would be really, really cool.
Yeah, if you want to do that, we'll do that. We'll set something up here.
Cool beans. You heard it here, exclusive, but don't hold us to it because I might have a headache. And Lloyd's other arm might be broken.
Yeah, I might not be able to open the box because my arms will just be stumps.
I can't do the unboxing. His arm hurts.
Yeah, it'll be great. Okay, enough of that. Let's get into the show. Jeff, what you been playing, my friend?
Yeah, so this week, it's been one of those weeks where I don't really want to play anything, right? So, and I'm sure any gamers had this where you've basically played everything on your shelf and you just go, you pull out your games and you look at them and you probably stand there for 15, 20 minutes maybe and you're like, what do I want to play? Do I want to play this? And then you'll pop a game in, play for 2 minutes, be like, no, this is not what I want to play. And I haven't beat Resident Evil 6 yet. I'm still at the same part I was back when we did the review, and that was 3 weeks ago, maybe even longer.
Mm-hmm.
So I keep looking at it and going, I should play this game, but I just do not have the passion for it that I did for previous Resident Evil installments. But I decided last night, put it in, we'll play a couple of chapters, and I finished the first chapter for Chris, and I know that with Resident Evil, obviously they're making the shift for it to be more action-oriented. And that's fine with me. I think Resident Evil 4 was about as old school, I think, as the franchise is going to get ever again. I don't think we'll ever see anything more survival than Resident Evil 4. And for those who have played that game, we all know that it's really still action-heavy. But there was, I think, a bigger element of fear in that game because everything was so new, it was very unknown. That being said, this game is it's Gears of War to me, actually. Resident Evil 6, although they call it survival horror, there's nothing survival about it, you know? I mean, if you're smart, you make your shots count, but you really don't need to. I mean, I'm burning through ammo in Chris's campaign left, right, and center. It's dropping from everywhere. There's actually a perk that I just bought for Chris where essentially I get like almost twice as much items are dropped by characters. And it's so much of an action game now that there's no survival to it, and that kind of like it really bugs me. You know, I one of the reasons I love about Resident Evil so much is I love the fact that ammo is scarce, that you know it's scary as hell to go around that next corner. You don't know what's going on, and it's tough, and it's tough because not because the game is unfair, but because you're not good enough yet to go forward. You know, you haven't figured out how to attack these enemies, you know?
Right.
And in most Resident Evils, there's weapons that you get that are upgradable, but you kind of hold off from using them because you know that eventually there's going to be a boss fight, you're going to need everything you have.
Right.
In this game, in the first chapter, Chris starts out with like a super powerful handgun and an assault rifle and like tons of ammo. You know, now you're chucking grenades left, right, and center, flashbangs, fire grenades, and I know those have been in since Resident Evil 4. But it really bugs me that it's now just an action game, and the only thing that makes it Resident Evil is the fact that we have gross enemies to attack. And I don't know if anybody else feels that way. I know Trevor really, really loves the game, but you know, I still don't think it's a bad game, but it's not Resident Evil to me at all. I think it's painfully average at best. And you know, one of the only other things that make it a Resident Evil game is that the controls are still kind of tank-like, even though they do let you move around. It's frustrating, and you know, I would really love to see Resident Evil go back to form. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be invested in Resident Evil 7, you know, because I'm barely going to find the motivation to beat this one. And at this point, I don't know how long it's going to take me. You know, maybe in January I will have beaten it because I just have no interest in it. And I think that's just my tendencies as a gamer are evolving, and I just, you know, I maybe my tastes have changed, and I no longer want to play just, okay, you get to a point where it's just fighting a mindless horde, and you know the enemies are pretty smart, but they're literally just a bunch of enemies. They're a horde, and that's frustrating. But I am still enjoying it for whatever it's worth. I guess I'm enjoying it in a different way than I have been. And the other thing I've been playing is I popped back on to Minecraft on the Xbox 360 because of the new update. And I'm hesitant to say that I'm like back into it, but I am really getting that like Minecraft itch where you're like, okay, you know, maybe I'll just mine these 4 blocks and then I'll go sleep, or I'll go a little bit more, or I'll, you know, 5 more minutes and then it turns into an hour. And I really, really like it. And unfortunately, I'm still not 100%, you know, in love with the controller for Minecraft. I really do like the mouse and the keyboard.
Right.
And the really scary update, which is the Halloween update for the PC version, actually just came out yesterday, I believe. And it adds like bats and like, you know, all these cool new things to it. And I'm like, man, I really want to play. And now my girlfriend has just set up a server and she's playing. So I'm going to get like just into Minecraft again for a while. So for the next few weeks, the only thing I might be playing is Minecraft. So you might have to listen to me rant about Minecraft as much as I talk about MLB The Show.
That's cool. We're actually, a buddy of mine at work and myself are starting up something Minecraft related in the near future. So
cool.
We'll have to chat with you about that. It's not a podcast, everybody, so don't worry about that. But
it's like, oh my god, what is it?
It is something local here for Winnipeggers.
I love Minecraft, man. So. It is probably the most relaxing game I've ever played. Mm-hmm. And you know, like there are other games out there like Flower and what was it, Journey, right?
Flow and Journey.
Yep. Yeah, those are extremely relaxing games, but they also all had an end goal, whereas Minecraft doesn't. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like I go and play Minecraft, I just chill out.
It's digital Lego is what I tell people.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. I think it's maybe a little bit more complex than that, but the great part about Minecraft is that it doesn't have to be complex. It can literally be as simple or as complex as you want it. I think that's the beauty of that game.
Yep.
And it's just, man, is it just so easy to just burn through 5 or 6 hours of your day with, and you're like, what? Oh man, I'm kind of hungry, and you look at the time, and you're like, wow, I've been playing this for 6 hours. What the hell's wrong with me? But yeah, that's all I've been playing this week, and I've been having a blast playing it. What about you?
Good question. Actually, I've been doing playing a lot, actually. A lot of various things. I've been playing a lot of iPad stuff, off and on. I picked up a great game called Punch Quest. It's by Rocket Cat Games. They made the Hook Champ and Super Hook Champ and all those games where it's basically like trying to get to the end of the level in a certain amount of time and shave seconds off your time. They came out with a game called Punch Quest. It's free to download, so if you have an iOS device, download it right now. Like you need it. It is a game that you should, everybody that has an iOS device should at least give it a try. It has in-app purchases for gold and things like that, which is punches in this game. Your currency is punches. But basically the game has you starting at a stage similar to like a Jetpack Joyride, and you have to get as far as you possibly can. As you do that, you get score, you get coins, which then allow you to unlock different special attacks and things like that. But it is so damn addictive. When I was sitting for multiple hours in emergency yesterday, that's pretty much all I did until my phone died, because the hospital, I guess, is on just on the edge of coverage, so the phone is always trying to get a better connection. So my phone died without me even doing anything really. After being there for 8 hours, it died about 6 hours in, and I look at my battery on my iPad and it was like 30%. It's like, I might need to text my wife, so maybe I will stop doing anything with my electronics. And I just stood there and sat there and stared at the ceiling, basically.
It really burns out the battery then?
No, it's just I was playing for multiple hours. Like,
oh, I see. You're playing that long.
Yeah, I was playing for hours and hours and hours on my iPad. So, great game. Check it out, Punch Quest. I've also been still playing some Borderlands 2. Kind of stopped with that a little bit. I don't know why. I got to like almost level 40, and the max level cap is level 50. And a bunch of my friends on my friends list are level 50, but for some reason I'm not enjoying it post beating the game the first time and playing through like the true Vault Hunters mode. And all the enemies are super like tough. So I'll basically come around a corner and there'll be like 3 enemies, and then they jump on me and then I'm dead. And it's like, okay, I'm this badass that drops a turret that chews up your ass, so why am I dying so quickly? Essentially is what it is. So I think I'm going to take a break, maybe try some of the other character classes when I get back into it. But I think the biggest reason why I'm not playing Borderlands is because Skylanders Giants came out, and I've been playing the hell out of Skylanders Giants. But we'll get into that when we talk reviews in a little while.
Cool.
All right, so what do you say? Should we take a small break and then get into the rest of the show?
Yeah, I forgot to ask you before the show, but I guess because it's not filled out, I get there was no feedback for this week, right?
No, nothing.
So
nothing.
That is your cue, everybody listening, to give us some feedback, ask us questions. Let us know what you think of our reviews. If you hate or love us, if you got more beef with me because I think Final Fantasy VII is overrated, let me hear it. I would love to hear it. vgpodcasts@gmail.com. Let us know what you think.
Definitely. Cool. So what I did today is instead of thinking about what music I should be playing in this episode, I just grabbed 2 random chiptune songs or chiptune tracks from my playlist, which is called Chiptunes. Very creative naming structure. But it has like...
I wonder what's in those playlists.
It's a playlist of all my chiptune albums, which I've either bought or downloaded because they were free. There's like 300 songs or something. And I just grabbed 2 random ones. So this could be either really good or really, really horrible. So you guys are going to experience this the same way that I'm experiencing it, which is total randomness. So let's see how good or how bad this is. So here we go. The first track is called The Glorious Birth of Gardenbot 9 by Maxo, and it's off the album Fake Bit 2010. So here we go. Forgive me if it sucks. Oh, damn it. It's an iCloud track. It took a second for it to download. Right. That wasn't horrible.
Yeah, I like that. That was kind of like a jazzy kind of, bit trippy kind of thing. That was cool.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. So, The Glorious Birth of Gardenbot 9, not horrible. And that was by...
official bonus stage review. Not horrible.
The artist Maxo. So check that out if you're looking for more chippy tunes.
Man,
all right.
I would love for our view section if our baseline standard was just... degrees of horrible, where the best a game could do would be to call it not horrible.
Yeah.
And those are pull quotes for the back of the box, Call of Duty Black Ops 2. The bonus stage says it's not horrible.
It's not entirely horrible.
Yeah, exactly. And people are going to look at that and be like, yeah, the bonus stage said it's not. You got to buy this. That's a $60 game right there.
Yeah. I should really screen these tracks maybe before playing them. But I thought that would be fun just to randomly grab some stuff that sounded interesting. So
I like that idea.
We'll see how it goes. Cool. Well, let's get into the rest of the show. We're going to talk about new releases. I'm not so panicked to get over and through this episode as quickly as I was hoping before because my painkillers have just kicked in. So
that's nice.
Everything's happy. Things are good. Let's get into the new releases. First up, Skylanders Giants came out on Sunday. And it's basically out on everything. If you have a toaster, you can get a version of Skylanders Giants for it. It's out on the Wii. It's out on the PS3. It's out on the 360. It's out on the 3DS. And there's special editions. If you're in Europe, there's a special edition PS3 that comes with Skylander Giants and a redone version of one of the characters. In North America, there's a Wii version coming out, which comes with a blue Wii, 2 blue Wiimotes, and a gnarly tree guy, which is basically his name, gnarly tree. And
no, that's the character's name. I thought you were describing what it was.
No. I don't use gnarly anymore.
Gotcha. I see. I'm very unfamiliar with what Skylanders even is. So
Well,
when
no,
you like start throwing out names like that, I just think you're describing something.
no, no, no. Yeah, Skylanders Giants is out, so pick it up if you're looking for it, because it is out, and I'll be doing my review shortly on that one. We also have a game that just launched on the Nintendo eShop for the 3DS called Liberation Maiden. This is a Suda51 game. I totally forgot that this game was even coming out, and I saw it in the show notes, and I'm like, Jeff, what is this? And so he went and started talking about it, and then I went to their website, and yeah, it's a Suda51 game. So he did a whole pile of games, most recent Lollipop Chainsaw, and he's coming out with a game for the 3DS, or he did. It's available on the eShop right now for $8. So it's a kind of a top-down shooter. You play the new president of Japan, who is a woman who then jumps into this full leather bodysuit and jumps into a mech, and then tries to save the world by destroying all these attacking ships and things like that.
This game really has its finger on the pulse of current world events, especially the socio-political issues going on in Japan right now with their current president always donning leather suits and jumping into mechs.
Yeah.
It's very current, very current.
Yeah,
game.
Totally. It happens all the time. I mean,
it does. It's a daily occurrence there in Japan.
It is. It's actually.
We get the movies, about Godzilla, and we think, okay, that's crazy. Every day, Godzilla is screwing things up in that country, and they need presidents in mechs to take them down. Yeah. And now this game doesn't have anything to do with Godzilla, but they kind of played it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. A little bit. So
and this guy who's doing this game, got a great track record, in my opinion. Killer 7 on the GameCube, No More Heroes on the Wii, amongst others. He's one of those guys that's like, on the surface, it looks like a style over substance, but if you pay attention, there's a lot of really interesting ideas in there, and I think this is going to be one of those games. It's a compilation called, I was just telling you what it was called. Now I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't recall.
Something Zero. But it's the first of 4 games that's part of this compilation. So I don't have a 3DS, but this actually looks like a blast to play. I think you're going to pick it up, actually, right?
Yeah, definitely. That's one of the games that I was looking forward to when I heard that it was coming out, and then I saw the screenshots for this like top-down shooter, and it just totally didn't dawn on me that this was the game. So I'm definitely going to have to pick that one up. It's only $8, so definitely worth a pickup. I'm hearing it's short, so I don't know what short is, but we'll see what happens. Also out is Medal of Honor Warfighter, out on the PC, 360, and PS3. So Jeff, do you already own a copy?
No, I don't. This is I have played the beta, and it's not bad. It's definitely improvement over the last Medal of Honor game that came out, was it 2 years ago now, I think? It's not great, though. It's very Battlefield, and it seems like it's trying to I don't want to say copy Battlefield, but it feels like it's trying to be Battlefield. And I think, if I remember correctly, this is also built on the Frostbite 2 engine, so it does look very Battlefield as well. My problem with it is that it doesn't know what it wants to be. I mean, the name is so friggin' generic. Medal of Honor Warfighter. I wonder what you're going to be doing in this game, Like, it's such a stupid name. It doesn't say anything about the story. And not like the Call of Duty games are anything like that either. I mean, Modern Warfare isn't the name of a game, It's just, it's the setting at which the game is in. So those names always drive me nuts.
Yeah.
And if you want your game to be more progressive, or maybe not ragged on so much for your stupid one-dimensional story, don't have a stupid one-dimensional name.
I'm waiting for the sequel to Assassin's Creed to come out after this one, which is It's Assassin's Creed 3 Jumpy Stabby is what it's going to be called.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's going to be great.
it's going to be a huge game, but it's cross-platform. It's not bad. I will not be picking it up. I got my fill of it, excuse me, in the beta, and I probably played maybe 10 or 15 matches. I wasn't too into it, but it's I mean, if you're looking for something, if you're looking for a new first-person shooter, maybe 2 weeks before the biggest first-person shooter, comes out. Actually, you know what? There's going to be two big ones that are week after each other. Halo 4, obviously, which
Oh,
I think
what is that? I think it rings a bell in my ear.
yeah. I think all the time, can Halo take Call of Duty? And I really don't think it's possible, but I think that this one is going to get very, very close. I think that the Halo and the Call of Duty um, demographics, the market for those games are too far apart that, there are not many people that are in the middle where they're going to buy both games.
Right.
But Call of Duty is going to do record numbers this year, as it always does. Halo 4 is going to do record numbers this year. It's going to be a huge game. Regardless of how it's reviewed, it's going to make a ton of money. And Medal of Honor Warfighter is going to it's going to do okay this week, and then in 3 weeks we will forget it exists. That's honestly what I think.
Nice. Moving on, we have another Forza sequel has come out. Forza Horizon just hit the 360. I was a huge fan of Forza, the first game.
I love Forza.
I bought the I bought the steering wheel, the four-speed feedback steering wheel, and played the hell out of it. I never got into Forza 2, and I don't know, this one looks actually kind of interesting. It looks a little bit more arcadey than even what Forza was initially.
Yeah, so I mean, Forza did start out not as hardcore of a racing sim as it turned into be.
Yeah, it was like Grand Theft Auto on easy mode. Like it had all the details and the stuff was there, but everything was turned up on easy mode essentially.
Yeah, it was pretty easy. I mean, you could do simulation stuff, but default it was pretty easy.
Yeah, they had all the assists were turned up as high as they could go, pretty much.
Yeah, and I mean, I played Forza 2. I beat that game. Like, I literally did every race in the game. And I still have Forza 3 and I still haven't beaten it, but it's one of those ones that, like, even to this day, the game is 3 years old and I still think it is worth your money. If you don't have a Forza and you want to get in, go and buy 3 because it is a brilliant friggin' game about how detailed all the cars are, how detailed the tracks are. The fact that, like, if you're doing a race that's an endurance race, the burnt out rubber on the tires will influence the way that portion of the track will drive the next time you go over it. I mean, it's a brilliant, brilliant game. I played the demo for 4, really, really liked it, but I was still playing 3, so I had no reason to buy it. And Forza Horizon is a little bit more arcadey. It's a little bit more Need for Speed, and I believe it revolves around this open world concept. But it's getting really, really high reviews, high 8s, low 9s. It's doing really, really well. And I do have the demo on my Xbox, and I still haven't played it because I've been playing other things.
I got to go download that after this, I think, because I'd like to get into another driving game. It's been a long time.
And you know what? I think this one will bridge that gap between people who want to play a really fun racing game but don't want to go into a hardcore sim. But it'll also have those hardcore sim options to it. So I think it's going to be a really, really solid game. And to me, in my opinion, I don't think there's ever been a bad Forza game. I think every game has been a head and shoulders above the previous iteration.
Yeah, it's done by Turn 10, right? That's the name of the company, and they just do amazing work. Like they actually get like some of the super high-end sports cars into their studio, and they do laser scanning, and they mic it with like 500 microphones. Well, obviously that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but
you're right, a lot.
They mic everything to hear like suspension when you're going around a curve, engine idle, engine at certain RPMs. Like they are as crazy detailed. Like when I thought Gran Turismo was detailed, and then I read about some of the stuff that Turn 10 was doing for their games, it totally just blew everything else out of the water. So Tony in the chat room is actually saying that he's been playing it and he likes it so far. So I'm gonna have to download the demo for sure, and then maybe see if this is the next 360 game I'm gonna buy.
Yeah, it's man, Forza is just it's funny because not only is it just a really, really good game, but and I'm not sure if they've done this in 4 and in Horizon. But in 3, the game came with 2 discs, and it was basically you put in the first disc, and this prompt came up, and it essentially, I'm not going to verbatim, but it says we've got way more content than can fit on this disc, and we're pretty sure that you can't install it all on your hard drive. So you can pick and choose with your second content disc all of the cars and the tracks and the matches and all that stuff that you want. So if you don't have enough space, you can just delete some of this and then put in some of this. They give you another disc that's like an entire disc full of content. It's like 6.5 gigabytes that you have to install if you want everything.
Wow.
It's insane. And the game was actually $79 for Forza 3 when it first came out. But I mean, you got a whole second disc, so it was a big game.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Moving on. Another game that you put in the show notes that I know nothing about is Lucius for the PC. So what is Lucius?
So I heard about this game a couple months ago. I don't even know how I saw it, but it was just, I saw this trailer and I was like, wow, this looks really interesting. It's essentially a game where you play, it's not actually the Omen, but you essentially play Damien from the Omen, this kid who is the devil, right? And it's available on Steam, and I think you can get it from a couple other sources. But you go around killing people, and all the adults are trying to figure it out, trying to figure out who's burning people when they're like handcuffed to a pipe, who's poisoning the food so this woman dies, who's drowning this other woman in the bathtub. And it's this friggin' kid that you get to play as. And it just looks so friggin' creepy. And I mean, if you watch the trailer, it actually looks like it's pretty poorly put together. Like the voice acting looks horrendous or sounds horrendous. The character models are just okay. But the concept of the game has me hooked enough to want to try it. Now, if the game comes out on Steam Play for Mac, I'll download it if my computer can handle it. But it just like the game came out this week and I was like, man, I really, really want to play it. It looks so stupid, but it's a concept I've never played before. So I'm like really, really into it. I hope that it is on Steam Play, but I haven't even checked. And it just looks so cool. I mean, you get to play as a killer devil kid. How cool is that?
Sounds actually kind of awesome. I kind of want to look more into it. Cool. Okay, moving on. The next game on the release list is a game called Zero Escape: Virtue's Last Reward, coming out on both the 3DS and the PS Vita. And this is if I remember correctly, the sequel to the 999, which was like 9 hours, 9 doors, 9 people, or whatever the heck it was called. It was like 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors or something, which is kind of like this really quirky RPG where you play one of a bunch of people, like 9 people that were basically kidnapped and put on a ship, and the ship is sinking, or something bad is happening on the ship, and you have to basically solve the mystery to live. And this is the sequel to that one, and that's about as much as I know about it. 999 kind of intrigued me when it first came out, but it's not something that I did pick up and play. But this one actually looks pretty interesting. Instead of having kind of like 2D sprites, it's done with like 3D models. So they've kind of fleshed out the world a little bit more.
Yeah, and I don't know much more than you. In fact, I didn't even know the story going in. I watched the trailer and I read a little bit about it. And one of the things that they talk about all the time in basically every piece of marketing for this game is that it has 24 different endings. And that you get to choose who you want to ally with and who you want to stab in the back. And I guess it's a game all about survival. So it looks actually really interesting. And really the only reason I put it up here was because I was like, hey, a game is coming out for the PlayStation Vita that I'm mildly interested in. Let's put it on the list.
The Vita's out?
Yeah,
it came out?
It is out. I believe that it's been out for, and it pains me to say this, but nearly a year it's been out. Oh, that's...
What a horrible thing for Sony. Like, what is Sony going to do with the Vita? Like, not to sort of go down another path, but how can they release like the PS4 when the Vita is doing so horrible? Like, are they going to kill the product?
Release it because they have to. They have no choice but to release the PS4.
Are they going to bundle it with the PS4? As a controller?
Exactly.
Like, this is going to be the Wii U, like the PlayStation Wii U.
Oh my god, PS4 is going to cost like $2,300.
Yeah, you're going to have 3 jobs, not 2, like crazy Ken Kutaragi wanted you to do for the PS3.
You thought 2 jobs was enough. Wait till you see this console.
Wow.
I don't know what they're going to do with it. I mean, they have to be hemorrhaging money,
Oh yeah, totally.
I mean, their profits are in the tank.
Yep.
Their company, I don't think it's anywhere close to being so bad that they're going to go out of business. Um, but God, they've made some horrible choices. And, we talk about it in the forums at vgpodcast.com. It's one of those things where, like, I'm baffled by how ignorant Sony is to what the average gamer wants. I mean, when you get past the fanboys or not even fanboys, but just the fans who believe and want the product that you're going to sell, that's like 5, maybe 6% of the entire market, right?
Yep.
After that, of the easy sells, you have to figure out how to get your product into the hands of the average gaming consumer, right?
Yep.
The guy who's going to buy 4 or 5 new games a year and who is going to really think hard about buying a new console or buying a new handheld. And, if we're to stack it up, even based on launch alone, like let's say 3DS and Vita came out at the exact same time, 3DS landslide. PS Vita might have beat it out a little bit at the beginning just because the hardware is so impressive. But the 3DS, after the price drop and after they're like, okay, you know what? Nintendo's like, we screwed up. We need to make amends here. And then they started putting out games, and they did a very good job of just putting out games. 3DS is like, if anybody asked me, hey, should I buy a 3DS? Answer is yes, 100%.
Yep.
And to this day, what is it, 9 months later, or maybe a little bit less than that, 7 or 8 months later, after I bought a PS Vita, if they're like, hey, should I buy a Vita? I'm like, do you like baseball? And do you not have a PS3? Like, I don't know how to answer it. And most of the time I say no, unless you're a really hardcore gamer and Uncharted is fun, but it's like 12 hours and then you're done.
Yeah, you got to ask people, do you like fondling things on the back? If you do, Vita, that's the thing. Go get it.
It's like, do you want to play PS1 games on the go? Yeah.
Exactly.
That's their other big thing. It is frustrating. It is, and I was playing my Vita today and I was thinking, God, it has been so long since I bought a game on this platform. The last time I bought a game had to be 5 months ago when I bought MLB The Show.
Wow.
That's a long time to go without buying a game on a platform.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Okay, moving on. Last game that we wanted to chat about was Killzone Collection came out, which is the PlayStation Collection. It's the next game in the collections I guess sub genre of releases that Sony's been doing.
Yeah.
And this is basically Killzone 1, 2, and 3 up-res to 720p and available for you on one disc. Killzone 2 and 3 come with all of the DLC.
Yeah, which is really awesome, by the way. I did not know that.
Yeah, so pretty much if you've had any inkling to play Killzone, this will be the one for you to pick up. It's $40 and it has 3 full games plus a whole whack of DLC. And yeah,
it's a good buy, man. I mean, Killzone 1 has its control problems, but 2 and 3 are really solid, like, A shooters. They're just really, really good. The story is a little bit, stupid, but it's a really good shooter. And the multiplayer in 3, I still wish I had that game because of how great the multiplayer system is. I don't know if you've ever played it.
No, but I owned Killzone 1 and I've played it for all of like 15 minutes and the controls were just they're terrible. And I don't feel bad because I didn't pay full price. I bought a collection off a guy that came with like multiple PlayStation 2s and like 30 games or something, and it was just one of them. And I'm like, oh, I can finally play Killzone. And I popped it in and I'm like, all right, that was Killzone, and I put it on the shelf. So I might want to pick this one up just to check it out because it's not like the best shooter out there.
No.
But it definitely looks good and might be something to definitely check out.
Yeah, it's in line with like your B shooters. It's definitely better than anything.
It's like a Resistance.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I think Resistance is a lot better than this. I think Resistance is as top tier as you can get. I really, really love those games. But yeah, Killzone 3 has a great multiplayer where you essentially play in these big arenas, right? Where, the objectives are changing. So it's like, okay, it's first to 75 kills. So you get to 75 kills, and instead of going back into the lobby, the game will just keep respawning you. And now it's a game of sabotage. Now it's a game of domination. Like, it's really fun.
Yeah, no, that's cool. No, I definitely want to check this one out. Cool. All right. So that's about it for new releases we want to chat about. So let's get into our review for this episode. I'm going to talk a little bit about Skylanders Giants because I picked this one up on Sunday, the day that it came out. and I love it. I played the heck out of Skylanders 1. I picked it up after it was already kind of like super popular and hard to find, and I picked it up because I thought my kids would like it. If you don't know, if you haven't listened to earlier episodes or whatever, I have a 6 and a 5-year-old, and we play games together on weekends. Usually, that's kind of our thing. And I wanted a game that we could play co-op, but something that they could play together. So I picked up Skylanders Spyro's Adventure, and instantly fell in love with the game. The game is essentially a kind of like a 3D action adventure game with RPG elements where your characters can level up and things like that. But the real different thing about this game is it has physical plastic toys, and you put them on this thing called the Portal of Power, and when you do, that toy appears in the game. So it's kind of something that I always wanted to do when I was a kid. It was like, I want to play a video game, but I want to play with these G.I. Joes or these Muscle Men or these whatever was the toy of the time. And Spyro is that. So I liked it pretty much just as much as my kids, which is kind of sad, but the game is awesome. The original one had 32 figures that you would buy, and if you collected them all, well, then you spent a heck of a lot of money on a video game. And I put together the whole collection with my kids because they loved playing battle mode, which is kind of like a multiplayer kind of battling each other for winning, trying to win and get the most amount of wins and things like that. And yeah, I spent way too much money on that. So when I heard that Skylanders Giants was coming out, immediately my left leg started hurting because I knew my wallet was like trying to burrow into my leg.
It was afraid of coming out into the light again.
It was definitely afraid. I told my wife that it was coming out, and she's like, "Yeah, you're not buying that game." And I was like, "Why?" She's like, "Yeah, you're not buying another 50 little plastic figures for the kids." And I'm like, No. I already have all the figures. I don't need to buy anymore. So anyway, Skylanders Giants came out. Picked it up, and the game is very similar to the first one wherein you have this hub world and you have to basically beat a bunch of levels. When you beat the levels, you beat the game, and that's it. There's battle mode and everything like that. The thing that they've done is they've added these things in the game called Giants. So I'm showing one on the camera right now if you guys are watching, and this is Tree Rex, which is the gnarly or the non-gnarly version of the tree, which I was chatting about earlier. And in comparison to, this is another new character. They're a little bit. This is Jetvac that also comes with the game. So if you buy the real or the full version, not the Portal Owners version, it comes with 3 figures. It comes with a giant, a new figure from Series 2, which is the Skylanders Giants, and then it comes with a repose version of a character that was from the first game. So you can see, if you're watching the camera, the Giants are actually pretty big. They're about twice as big as the original characters, and they basically have different powers. So in the first game, there was 8 kind of elements. So there was fire, earth, wind, stuff like that. So to beat the game, you had to have at least 8 figures if you wanted to get 100% of the game, because you'd come to a door that was locked unless you were like earth element. So you'd have to put an earth element guy on your portal.
Yeah.
And then that would open. In Giants, they've added these giant characters. There's 8 of them, and they're another element. So you really only need 9 figures now. You need one of, or actually you still only need 8 figures, because each giant also has its own element. So this Tree Rex guy is a giant, but he's also a life Skylander. So you still only need 8 figures to beat the game. So
quick question. So
yeah.
Like, what do you do with the figure? Does it like plug in, or do you literally just like put it, because I'm watching you on the camera right now, do you literally put it on like a platform or something?
Yeah, so this is the portal, and this is the portal for Skylanders 1.
Okay.
And you put him on, and the thing lights up, and then he appears in the game.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. If you've never actually played Skylanders before,
I've never played it.
You'll have to pop over one night. We'll play some Skylanders co-op or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
I mean, I know what it is because you've talked about it so much.
Yep.
But I mean, I've only ever seen like a few things from it. It's never been something that I've gotten into. Mostly because I don't have I don't have the money to spend. It seems like a very expensive habit
It
or
is.
game.
Well, if you're a collector, it is. But you really only need 8 figures, and you could buy them slowly over time, essentially, is what it is. So anyway, Skylanders Giants, as I said, the difference is now there's giants, and the game is set up pretty much the same way. There's still the hub world. There's kind of all the levels and things like that. What they've done to kind of suck more money out of your pocket is for each element, there are 6 new figures. One of them is a giant. One of them is something called a light core. This is one of the light core. This is Prison Break, which is a Series 1 character, but this is the light core version that is new to giants. There's 3 reposed version of Series 1, so a figure that you've already, or you could have already bought with the first Skylanders, but they're reposed, so they look different. And then there's 1 new figure for each element. So say for, let's talk about life. So what T-Rex is. So T-Rex is your giant that comes with the game. There's the new figure that is in Series 2 is called Shroom Boom, which is this new mushroom character. There's the light core version is a version of Shroom Boom that has different powers. And then there's 3 figures from Skylanders 1. There's Stealth Elf, Zook, and Stump Smash. So you don't really need to
such great names.
Yeah, the names are awesome. The characters are all awesome. I love them all. But when I heard this, I was like, that is such a freaking ripoff. So they want to unlock everything, to unlock all the in-game achievements, you actually have to own all the figures, which to do that, you need to buy figures that you might already own. So I've already said that I'm not going to buy any figures from Series 1 except for a couple light core figures, and that's about it.
What is the let's say you were to go and buy every figure for both games.
Yeah.
What is that going to run you plus the cost of the game?
Well, they're like $10 a pop for the regular figures.
Okay.
They're $12 for each of the light core figures, and the giants are $15. So yeah, a lot of money.
Holy crap.
A lot of money. So essentially, to beat the game, as I said, you only need 8 figures. What they've done is, say if you already own a figure, say if you already have like Prison Break, you can bring him from your Skylanders 1 game and drop him into Skylanders Giants, and all of the experience, all the money, everything that you have on that figure will appear in the game. So if you've already maxed your figure at level 10, he's a level 10 figure as soon as you bring him in, because as you level up, it writes that information back to the figure, which is really cool. And what they've done is allowed you to then upgrade or level up your characters to level 15, because that's the max level in Skylanders Giant. So you could take your Spyro from the first game that you loved, and you got to level 10, and you just played with it like crazy. You can then level him up to level 15, which is kind of cool. If you buy the repos version of Spyro, they allow you to do something. There's extra powers that the original character doesn't have. He can also level up to level 15, but he has something called a Wow Pow, which is a kind of a special move that only that reposed version has. And then it also allows you to, if you've played Skylanders before, as you upgrade your characters, you get to a point where your skills kind of branch off. So there's 2 different branches you can take. With the repos versions, you can actually choose skills from both of them without having to like reset your character and start from scratch, which is kind of cool. And then there's the light core versions, as I said. They're called light core because they glow. So as you get close to the portal, the character starts to glow. So this is Prison Break, and as you can see, if you're looking at the video, he has like these big like crystal things on his hands.
Yeah.
They actually glow green, and it's like really awesome. You get close to the portal and boom, they start glowing green, and it's really awesome. All the giants have things that glow as well, like for T-Rex, his little gun glows and his eyes glow and things like that.
Does the portal run on batteries, or does it plug in anywhere?
The old portal that I had for my PS3 did. The new portal actually plugs in through USB.
Okay, cool.
And the figures themselves, they don't need batteries because they're using RFID. So as you get close to the portal, the RFID chip energizes, and then I guess there's like some sort of fiber optics to make the lights appear on these figures.
I know people say that it's a kid's game, and even you sometimes kind of refer to it as a kid's game. But the way you talk about it makes it seem a lot deeper than any kid's game I've ever played.
It is. as I said, the light core figures are cool because they glow. Light core figures, you can also use them in Skylanders 1, which is kind of cool. And the bonus that the light core figures have is as soon as you drop them on the portal and they appear in your game, it does like the in-game announcer says light core, and basically like this explosion appears from your figure and it kills everything that's on the screen. So if you're having a hard time in the game, once per level you can drop a light core figure on. Once per level per light core character, you can drop them on and it kills all the enemies, which is really kind of cool. So I mean, it's kind of dirty how they're kind of trying to steal more money from you.
Yeah.
But they've made it so it's kind of cool. At the same time, other things that they've done to the figures, which you couldn't do, so you can level up the figures to level 15. What they've done is they've added achievements per figure. So each figure has, I believe it's 9 different achievements that you can do, and there's a little screen that you can go through and you can look at your progress. So this figure here, Prison Break, you have to kill 1,000 fake characters. When you do, you unlock one of the achievements. Not an actual achievement like an Xbox Live achievement, but just a bonus to this character. When you unlock a certain number of those, like from 1 to 9, if you unlock all 9, you unlock a special hat, which you can wear, which gives you bonuses and things like that. So they've like taken the game, which is already pretty deep, with 32 characters that are all have different powers and different things, and they've added like per figure like achievements, which is really awesome because now your character really is your character. If you bring your Prison Break over to a friend's house and battle with him, he's totally different than his, like, even if your friend has Prison Break, they'll be totally different because you've spent time and played it. They even keep track of the amount of time you've played with it, and it shows up in the stat there. So you've played this character for 7 hours, it will show up on that screen. Really kind of crazy for a kid's game. As you said, it is really, really deep.
Yeah, it does sound a lot deeper, and that's the kind of stuff you want to see in a kid's game where, it's easy to get into and easy to play, but it's really, really tough to master. And I think that's one of the reasons why Magic the Gathering is so successful, because you can go into a store and buy a deck, which you can play with right out of the box for $15. But if you really start getting into it with like building cards and like not necessarily stacking the deck, but managing your shuffle so that when you draw, you have a pretty good idea of what you're going to draw.
Yep.
The game gets extremely deep, very complex, and becomes an entirely different thing. And that's really, really cool to see. And I think that's tough. It is unfortunate, like you said, that they are getting dirty with the, well, how about you give us another $120 to buy all these characters? Now, granted, you actually do get a cool figure you can put on your desk or something.
Yeah, it's like DLC that you get something physical for. So
that's true. Yeah.
I don't mind it. And re-releasing characters with different poses helps people out because some of these characters are really hard to find and they sell for eBay. Like you could buy this character for $10 in stores, or you could go on eBay and pay $40 for it because some of them are just so hard to find. So this allows people to then get those figures that are maybe hard to find. Anyway, that's enough about the characters. So Skylanders Giants has more toys to buy, more money to spend. What they've done to change the game, or they've done a lot to change the game, and they've made a game that was already pretty long. Like the original Skylanders had 16 levels, or 16 levels. Each of them took maybe 10 to 15 minutes to beat. In Skylanders Giants, there's still the same amount of levels, but they're a lot longer. Like I was playing one of the levels for about 40 minutes last night. So it takes a lot longer. In each of the levels, like there's a certain goal. So you have to get to the end or you have to save somebody. But there's hidden items. So there's a bunch of different chests hidden. There's a bunch of hats that are hidden. And there's some other things that are hidden in the level. They've added things to make it even more deep. So hidden in each level is a vendor. And if you talk to the guy, he'll sell you items. He'll sell you hats from Skylanders 1 to unlock in your game. The hats, by the way, aren't just to look cool on your character, even though they do kind of look cool. They give you stat bonuses, so you might have more armor or your speed might go up by wearing specific hats. There's other things you can buy, like levels. You can buy levels for battle mode. You can buy certain other things. You can buy cheats, which is like keys and other things to help you with certain puzzles in the game. If you just want to beat them without trying to figure it out, you can use these things to unlock it. So they've added this whole other like kind of like commerce system into the game. They've added battle arenas as well, so it's similar to like a horde mode in like a Halo, where you're in an arena and enemies just keep coming in, and you'll basically have like 3 waves of these enemies coming in, and they're there for no other reason than for you to just beat them, feel good about it, and also get a lot of experience and money as you do it. And they've added a whole bunch of other things into the game as well, which really took a game that was pretty deep and basically just turned it up a little bit and made it seem more than just like a rehash of the same game. They've added enough to make you want to go back and play it.
That's one of the tough things about sequels, right? Is we got to change the game enough that it's going to feel like a new game. We got to add new things, but we also can't go too far, because then people are going to think, well, this is too different. This isn't the game that I thought it was going to be, right? It's a balancing act with games like that.
Yeah, exactly. And they've also added difficulty levels. Like the first Skylanders was just like you play the game and that's it. They've added easy, normal, and hard, and if you beat the game, it unlocks a master difficulty, like super hard or whatever the heck they're calling it, which is really cool, because a lot of the levels, I play co-op with my kids, but a lot of levels are really hard for them to get through. So you can just take Skylanders Giants and just turn it up to easy, and then it's super easy. Like things die in one hit, and it's super easy for a kid to go through and play the game. So like any problem that I've ever kind of had with the game, they've kind of addressed in this version. They've taken the multiplayer, which was like battle mode. It had 3 different types of battle mode missions that you could play, and a number of stages. So in the first game, I think there was something like 6 battle mode stages, maybe 7 battle mode stages. They've like doubled that, plus they've added more than that. Plus they've made all of the Skylanders 1 battle mode missions available, or battle mode arenas available in this version as well. If you have things like, if you bought the adventure packs for Skylanders 1, there are these little things like a pirate ship or a dragon nest or whatever, and they existed for you to pop on your thing, and it unlocked another area for you to explore, but also a battle mode map. If you have those from Skylanders 1, you put them on, it immediately unlocks those stages, which is kind of cool. Otherwise, they're all available for purchase from the vendors that are hidden in each level, so you have to find the proper vendor to buy that map. So like everything that I've liked about this game, they've taken it and they've cranked it up, and they've made it better. So I don't know. I don't really have anything bad to say about this game. It's fun. It's fun for me. I'm a gamer that started way back in like 1980 with the Atari 2600, and I've played pretty much every console from that all the way up to what's currently out. And I'm like hopelessly addicted to this game. Like I just beat the single player mode today, like because I've been playing it when the kids go to bed. I'll play a couple of the single player missions just to get further in the game, and I basically just soldiered on and beat the game today. And I'm gonna want to go back and beat it on the hardest mode to further level up these characters. And I've only bought like 2 extra characters than what came with Skylanders Giants, because I already owned all the other versions. Now I kind of want to go buy all the Giants now, and I kind of want to get all the characters that are new in this game. So all of the series, all of the Skylanders Giants new characters, I kind of want to go buy now. So
I guess it's hard to be angry about the cash grab when the game has improved so much, right?
Like each of the characters is so different. Like you play with like Prison Break's my favorite character right now, and he has this attack where he shoots these lasers out of the crystals on his arms, and another attack where you drop these crystals from the sky, and if you shoot them with the laser laser splits to multiple things. So and then you can unlock a power down the road where when you kill an enemy, he turns into a crystal as well. So you shoot the laser, and it's like it's kind of branching all over the level, and it's fun, and I like that. But then you put a character like any of them, and they're all different. Like some of them are shooters, some of them are more melee, some of them are magic users, and like every character is different. Like it's not just like Mortal Kombat that had reskinned versions of different characters. Like each of the characters is 100% different from any other character, and they all have their own personality. You drop them on the portal, and when they come in the game, it says their name, and they all have this like catchphrase. Like it's like the perfect marketing to children. Like it's Saturday morning cartoons cranked up to 11. It's
the only thing they could do
great.
more is like give it away in a McDonald's like Happy Meal, right?
Totally. And like last year in the States, they had a partnership with like, I think it was like Doritos or something, where if you bought these like massive boxes of Doritos, you'd get a code and you could send away for something called I think it's like a sidekick or something, which are these little tiny characters which don't really do anything, and that was built into the first one, and no one really found out about it until they ran this promotion. So I'm just kind of wondering to myself what kind of promotions they have hidden in this game, which they're going to unlock as they get closer to the holidays, and then after that, like they're going to milk this for all it's worth. They're already talking about a third Skylanders game to come out. They're gonna milk this franchise for as long as they can, and
it's gonna turn into like the new Pokemon, right? Where you've got to get every single character, and there's gonna be a bunch of them.
Totally. And do you know what okay, so this will be the end of my Skylanders Giants. If you like action RPGs, if you like games that are as deep as you want them to be, if you like collecting things, like if you ever collected like action figures or baseball cards or whatever, and you want something else to collect, like this is different than anything else. Like you put your physical thing on a thing, and it comes in your game, and you're playing with it. It's like the first couple times you do it, like I was smiling ear to ear when I first played Skylanders. Like I just dropped the thing and it's in the game, and I'm running around with this character that has his own personality, which is really kind of cool.
No, it's only on the PS3 right now, right? Is it coming to the Wii?
No, it's on the PS3, it's on the Wii, it's on the 360, it's on the 3DS as well.
Oh, so it's on everything.
And the 3DS is its own version, so you could buy the 3DS version and another console version because the games are totally different. The 3DS version is like a platformer, where the other console versions are more like an action RPG.
Why isn't this on the Vita? There's no excuse for it not to be, right? I mean, there's an audience for this game. It's making tons of money.
Well, I've heard rumors that it's going to be coming to iOS as well as a game that you can play, and a special portal that you can then hook into your iOS device, so you can actually bring your characters into your iOS. So
I mean, you could even just use the camera, really, right?
Yeah. Like there's an iOS version already, which you could punch in codes, because there's a web version of this game as well. Every figure comes with a code, and you can go to this website and punch it in, and then it's kind of like I don't know, it's like Farmville with these figures online, and you could use those same figure codes to get them into the iOS version. But there's a version supposedly supposed to be coming out, which is a lot more full featured than that one. But anyway, that's my review of Skylanders Giants. I love this game. I'm going to be playing it. I'm going to be playing it for a while. I play it with my kids like every couple days. They don't get video game time every day, depending on how crazy our day is. But that's all they want to do when we play games. They want to go play Skylanders. They want to play battle mode against each other. I'm going to be buying figures for the next little while, so they have new characters to play with. I love the game. If you're into any of the type of stuff that I said, go pick it up right now. It's a little expensive. It's $80 for the set that comes with 3 figures in the game, but you can pretty much, you don't need to buy anything else. You could play the game and have fun with it. You're probably going to want to get the other 5 elements if you don't own Skylanders 1, just so if you ever come up to a door that says that needs a tech Skylander, you can have one that you can pop on your portal and do it that way. But you don't need them. They just adds extra content and allows you to unlock different things in the game.
Cool.
So yeah, pick it up. It's a great game. It gets a huge recommendation from me. But back to my dastardly.
Now, where does it rank on the official bonus stage horrible designation list?
It's it's from horrible to really, really horrible.
I guess it's from really, really horrible, or maybe god awful horrible,
to just
the highest
horrible-ish.
It can get. Not horrible.
Not horrible. So it's not horrible.
Not horrible.
It's not horrible. It is not horrible.
At the official bonus stage review, I really hope that I remember that next week, because I would like to continue the not horrible list.
It's great. So anyway, I heard a kind of a, I don't know, kind of a rumor, I guess, from a couple people, and also read some things online. The current rumor is that Skylanders is doing so well that other manufacturers are quickly trying to come to market with their own version, and it sounds like the first one to come out is going to be a Disney branded version of a game. So it's going to be kind of like a Disney branded Skylanders like game that has Disney figures that you can put on something and bring them into the game. So we'll see if that actually comes to life. But I heard the rumor from a couple different people that I know, and they're really excited about it because they're big Disney fans.
I wouldn't call it a bad idea to try to rip this off because I think that there is something good here. But, the obvious ones would be to do like a Kingdom Hearts game, I think would do really, really well on a system like this.
Yep.
Pokemon is obviously right there. Like,
yep. Well,
Pokemon needs to evolve, I think. Like
Nintendo built NFC into their gamepad. Like that's built right into the gamepad where you can do something like that. If Pokemon comes out, I mean, you're going to have like 500 different potential figures that you can bring into your game. I mean, that's
true.
stupid.
But then what I would think they would do is if there were decent people, they would sell them in like packs of 25 or something. And like the really rare ones were singles. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But, I think it would be something that's interesting because to be perfectly honest, how many more of the same Pokemon game do we need before we're like, okay, you got to do something different because this is ridiculous.
Well, they've released 15 if you count, or 16 if you count all the different, because it always comes out in pairs, and then it has the third one, which is kind of like the merge of both of them.
Yeah.
And it's essentially been the same game since the first one. They've added some features, but really nothing groundbreaking.
And it's funny because
it sells like crazy.
Yeah, it does. It still does. But the ones we remember so fondly, or at least I don't want to say we as a, everybody, but myself and my friends remember so fondly, are the ones that broke that convention. Pokemon Snap. Yeah. So much fun. Pokemon Stadium, brilliant game. Those two were huge games, and they were successful as far as I understood. Hey You Pikachu probably wasn't so successful, that one with a stupid microphone.
Yeah, but the microphone that looked really wrong.
Yeah, it did.
Looked really wrong. Cool. All right. Well, that's gonna about do it for our review section. Unless you have anything else to add, Jeff.
No. I mean, obviously this one was all you. I've never played it, but it sounds like a really cool game.
Cool. Well, you have to pop over and we'll play some co-op one of these days.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, let's take a small break and then we'll come back with our news section for this week.
Cool.
This one is another random track. It's called Extra Bonus Time. Who doesn't want extra bonus time on a podcast called Bonus Stage by Johan Turpin. So hopefully it's good. We'll see how it goes. There it is. Or this could be absolutely a whole song of silence because it doesn't appear to have any music in it at all. What the heck is that? Okay, that's obviously not working. So let's play some Mega Man 3. We'll see if this one's any better. Or, oh, there it is. What's that? It's really weird. Okay, so it was working. Hold on a second. There we go. Just technical difficulties. That's all it was. right. As I said, that was Extra Bonus Time by Johan Turpin from the album Rhythm and Bits. You know what, Jeff? Oh, sorry, your mic was muted. I'm kind of liking this random music thing. This is like 2 tracks that I normally wouldn't have played, but it just kind of fit and worked okay.
Yeah. You know, you should just like put it in a playlist, like you said, and then just take 2 or like hit random or something. Because I actually really liked that song. It was a good tune.
Yeah, it was a really good tune. Yeah, I think I'll have to do that again. That was really great. All right, cool. So we were chatting hockey in the chat room. So you guys, if you're not in the chat room when we do a live show, or if you're not over on the forums, you're missing a lot of fun. So do check that out.
Yeah, don't be one of the 5 or 6 creepers who are just watching and not, you know, in the chat room. That's weird, guys. Yeah. That's really weird.
Yeah, join in. Trevor's here.
Trevor's back. He's been quiet all night though. He's been listening and going, "God, get off of Skylanders already."
I hate that game. Stop talking about it. All right, cool. Let's get into the news. The first one is actually really interesting.
Yeah.
Not surprising, but surprising.
Actually, honestly, I think it's totally surprising.
Exactly. It's
a welcome surprise.
Not surprising, but surprising. And that is that Microsoft just announced that Minecraft has overtaken the #1 spot on the most played game on Xbox Live, supplanting Modern Warfare 3. So there's more people whacking creepers and building houses out of blocks of stone than there are shooting people in the head with sniper rifles. I don't believe it, but I kind of believe it because you look at how crazy Minecraft is. Like everybody is talking about it. There's podcasts that are getting tens of thousands of downloads because they're talking about Minecraft.
If you're big Minecraft fans, so you want to listen to a great podcast, there's one called The Shaft that's been around since the beginning.
Yeah.
Awesome show. I love that show.
They had Notch on episode 100 and they got like 1 million downloads of that episode, which destroyed their web host. Their web host said, we're not giving you files anymore.
I remember that. I remember the next episode them going, "What happened? Like what the hell happened?" That's a great podcast. Those guys put in a ton of work and they're just like super entertaining. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's surprising to me because while Minecraft is big, I thought that, you know, it's big on the PC. I didn't realize that it was this big on the Xbox.
Well, it's so limited on the Xbox compared to the PC, but I don't know. I guess it's busy and popular and people love it. I don't know. I don't get it, but there it is. Minecraft #1.
Yeah, I wonder for how long, and I wonder, you know, because you know, other than Call of Duty, which usually dominates that top 10 and most of the time the top 5, I you know, as much as I love Call of Duty, I really, really, really want a game to just come in and destroy it.
Yeah.
Because eventually, you know, as much as I like the games, we have to make room for new stuff. And to do that, you've got to beat the guy. You got to beat the big dog. So, you know, Minecraft has beaten the big dog in a sense for online stuff, but we'll see how long it lasts.
Exactly. We'll see how it goes. All right. More on that. You talked about beating the big dog. How about the big dog is beaten in submission?
This actually, like, when I read this news today, I was actually a little bit shocked.
I'm
actually still sad.
I was actually like kind of like emotionally sad, like not crying, but kind of like, that sucks. Like that kind of reaction. Yeah. And that is the news that G4, what used to be Tech TV way back in the day, basically is moving away from its geek roots and moving away from everything to do with gaming. They're canceling XPlay and Attack of the Show at the end of the year. So G4 is not going to be G4 anymore. They're moving into kind of like some sort of like guy show. They're going to be another Spike TV or something.
So what I think they're trying to be a little bit more classy. What the rumor is that the network is going to completely rebrand and shift into something, and I'm quoting the article here on Kotaku, more like an Esquire or a GQ channel, which is aligning with the reports that NBC Universal is looking to rebrand the channel as a lifestyle network focused on the modern male. And, you know, that aside, that is big news in itself, but you know, we've kind of seen the downfall of these two big shows in the last year with...
Well, their hosts left, right?
Yeah, I mean, lover or hater, Olivia Munn was the first to go to pursue a career in acting,
Mm-hmm.
and then Kevin Pereira left the show, and now and then it was Adam Sessler from XPlay. Everybody's just leaving. Those were their like tent pole people,
Yeah.
and now
And
what?
when that was happening, I knew something was up. I was
Me
like,
too.
okay, these show, like Adam Sessler wouldn't leave the show he started unless something crazy was happening. And yeah,
Yeah.
sure enough, this probably what it was. They were probably given advance notice, like, yeah, it's gone at the end of the year, so find something else or stick on
You
to
know
the
what?
end.
I don't think it was that. I really think that Sessler and all those guys were done in just they were tired of doing the same thing. Kevin Pereira is also he's starting a new show that starts on Tuesday, I believe. It's going to air on Space here. It's a show about people just kind of competing to create viral videos. Adam
Mm-hmm.
Sessler, I don't know what he's doing, but I know that the guy's got big plans. But
I
if
thought he
you
was
look
going to
at
go
their,
to Polygon, but I don't think that's happening.
I don't think that's happening either.
When he left, I'm like, oh, where's he going? And then it was like, oh yeah, Polygon's starting up with the Verge folk or at Verge. But it doesn't look like that's happening. So who knows?
Kevin Pereira may have known something, and because I'm reading his tweet here, and I don't want to be like. One of the things I hate about CNN is they'll look at one sentence and they'll try to break it down and try to make a story out of nothing, and I don't want to do that here.
Right.
But I get a little bit of a feeling that from his tweet where it said, "I'll just get this out of the way. I have no comment for now. Hashtag best wishes." That does seem like he has some things he needs to get off his chest.
Yeah.
Adam Sessler was different. He's like, my thoughts are with my friends at G4. Best wishes and all the confidence your talents will carry you. So yeah, I mean, it's big news, sad news, because I love that channel. I think that they do some really great work, and I think it's one of the few channels that really represents the kind of nerd, geek, gamer culture the way it should be represented.
Yep.
I know that a lot of people are like, well, The Big Bang Theory is such a great outlet for... The Big Bang Theory makes fun of every nerd, and I don't think it's a funny show, and I think it's almost kind of, I don't know, insulting a little bit,
Oh, really?
I really do feel like that.
I think they handle it with kid gloves, so it's not super bad. But I know what you're getting at.
Yeah.
That was our outlook or our outlet for geekdom on network television, and it's kind of gone. Like, I used to love Tech TV way back in the day. Like, you would turn it on and there'd be someone like ripping apart a PC and replacing a video card, and it's like,
and that someone was
like,
always
hey.
Leo Laporte. Every time I turned on that channel, I'm like, okay, I gotta watch the last 20 minutes of a Leo Laporte show.
Well, that was in Canada on G4 Tech TV Canada, because it seems like he was the only person that was ever on that channel. But
he's still got a show where he's like still helping people debug routers on a 56K modem. Like, well, I don't know what this guy is doing. He just cracks me up every time.
Well, he's not doing anything live anymore. But
no, that's too bad.
No, he has his podcast network, right? Twit.tv for like the last like 8 years. But yeah, he was doing Call for Help into like 2004, 2005, maybe 2009. No, 2008 maybe.
Just makes me laugh.
Yeah, he's a great guy. But yeah, like once G4 left, I mean, there really was nothing out there. The G4 that existed for the last like 4 or 5 years has really been like showing reruns of Star Trek and reruns of other geeky things, and then the odd like XPlay, which was really awesome, or the odd show of not Call for Help, the other show that I can't think of right now, Attack of the Show, like which used to be the Screensavers. That was worth watching, but everything else on the network was kind of just meh. And it looks like, yeah, that's what a lot of people thought because they're rebranding.
Yeah, and you know what? Unfortunately, G4 had to play stuff like what the hell was it? There was like essentially a show like Cops, but it was about campus police. It might have actually been called Campus Police, and just a lot of really stupid shows that really didn't have anything to do with it. We need to fill time slots, and it didn't look like they had the money to actually create a new show. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. They're going to be doing like big kind of farewell and thank you episodes, closer to the end of the year. So I'll definitely be tuning in for those because, I mean, I've spent a lot of time watching those programs. I feel like it's really not a good thing that they're going away. But hopefully maybe shows like Ours on the internet, things like that can get a little bit more play because that audience has got to go somewhere.
Well, totally. And I mean, that's the thing. Like that, it used to be like Tech TV was the only outlet for that, because you didn't have broadband in your house. So to get video online was next to impossible. Now there's so many outlets for that type of thing. I mean, there's podcasts like this. There's full podcast networks that are all about this type of stuff. So there's definitely places to go. But yeah, it is kind of sad to see. So we'll see what happens. XPlay was great. I mean, Reviews on the Run is great as well up here in Canada. Like that whole sort of, I don't know, Canadian take on gaming is awesome. But it was great to turn on XPlay and see like their crazy Nintendo rant of the week or whatever they were doing. Like, it was great to watch, and I'm gonna miss the people more so than the show.
Me too. And like, I just want to say one quick thing about Reviews on the Run. It's something that I really, really loved as a weekly. I'm not quite sure it does as well as a daily show. I feel like they're stretching a lot, and they're like, well, let's review a handful of free iOS games that, they probably didn't spend too much time with. I feel like you get a much better review on Touch of Gaming, for instance, where you've been sitting with the game all week, but you don't have this obligation of not only reviewing that, but okay, now we got to watch some movies, we got to play some other games. Seems like they're spreading themselves too thin. I still like the show, but they've got correspondents now in a bunch of different cities, and they're all playing different stuff, and there doesn't seem to be any kind of like a baseline standard of here's how we review games. It's really, really opinion based, instead of this is how we kind of break a game down but still give. And now I'm kind of backpedaling on what I said before we even started the show about how I like to review games, but either way.
For me, the problem with the show now is there's about 18 different people that you could you'll see random people, and I liked it before when it was like Victor Lucas and whoever was his co-host of the week. But that said, Victor, if you ever want someone to do some remote stuff for you, hey, I'm here. Give me a shout. I love it enough that I would be happy to do stuff for you. But yeah. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about other more creepy things. Square Enix is being a little creepy. Why don't you tell us about that, Jeff?
Yeah, so I read this story kind of in passing, and I was like, I don't know if I should put this on here. And then I decided to read the entire article, and it kind of freaked me out, actually. So essentially, when you agree to Square Enix's online terms and conditions, you don't probably notice it because you're just blindly clicking it, but you're basically saying that you allow the publisher of the game to record the way you play the game. It sounds a little nefarious, but it's kind of like this quality control kind of thing. They want to see how people play games so that they can make them better. So they kind of got an example here in the game Sleeping Dogs. So I'll just read out what's in the article. A game like Sleeping Dogs will continually monitor and record the way you play, the options you select, and the decisions you make. On a basic level, this means things like tracking whether you invert the controls or not, but more elaborately it's detected the fact that some people are finding parts of the game too difficult, presumably through the number of deaths recorded. So an impending update will make some difficulty tweaks. In addition to just fixing things, it also shows the publisher what people enjoy the most in the game and how they've reacted to choices presented, which will influence, as they quote unquote, strategic decisions made with regards to the game. One of the guy who wrote the article asks Square Enix's Chris Dillon what they've learned so far from studying player behavior so closely. And he says, and I quote, "I'll tell you what they like. They like violence. Clearly people want to have new ways of creating havoc and chaos and carnage in that open world. That's what excites them. So that's something that we're looking into at the moment on how to deliver that to them." It is kind of creepy at a baseline level, but when you kind of figure out that they're really actively trying to make games better experiences for all of us, I don't have that much of a problem with it. It's still really strange, though, and maybe I should be reading the terms of service more often, but honestly, that thing is like the Declaration of Independence. Who the hell is going to read that thing?
Yeah, there's probably other companies that are doing something similar. Looking at your behavior isn't so bad. If they were like capturing audio or video from you while you're doing it, that would be like a total invasion. This just makes sense. It's like they don't have to pay people to focus test their games because they're watching what people are doing with their games and making future games better, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Another interesting note, PlayStation Network is doing really, really good, which is surprising because it used to be free and then it became something that was expensive and no one really wanted to pay money for it. And then they got the great idea to start giving away 10 games as for free. So here you go, instant game library, here you go. And apparently that's doing really good. They basically said that their last quarter, July to September 2012, was their biggest in the global market in regards to revenue across the PlayStation Network. So more people are becoming PlayStation Network members. More people are buying digital games that way. They're spending more money digitally, which is really good for Sony because that's profit for them.
Yeah.
And they did a little bit of a survey, and for the people that answered the survey, they're claiming 97% customer satisfaction, and 93% of the people they surveyed said that they're going to renew their PlayStation Network subscription. So PlayStation Plus is doing great.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who has a PlayStation Plus that says they're not going to renew.
Free games, man. Like,
yeah, I mean that's enough, and then there's added bonuses for just the fact that all that stuff gets downloaded while your console's asleep, which is brilliant.
Yep.
And yeah, the free games and the deals on some games and like exclusives, it's all had like. As many times as I've said no, it's becoming harder and harder every time we have a conversation like this. And if you've got it, it's one of those things like Xbox Live for me. I don't think I will ever not be a gold member. I think once you become a premium or a PlayStation Plus member, I think you're hooked in for life.
Yeah, I mean, I got so many games that I downloaded. There's probably about 40 games or 30 games that I've downloaded, from the minis to the PlayStation 1 to the PlayStation 3 titles, full titles, and PlayStation Network-based titles. And I haven't even played half of them, but the fact that they're sitting there on my hard drive just makes me happy, and it makes me want to keep throwing $60 at Sony every single year to keep them on my hard drive. So one of the best ideas Sony's had. They've made a lot of really stupid mistakes over the last few years. This is definitely one of their better things that they've ever done. So
yeah, absolutely.
Hats off to Sony for doing that. All right, last but not least, The Walking Dead, a game we've talked about a lot on the show, is coming out as a retail release. Telltale tends to do that. They release all of their episodic versions, and then they come out with a master release on disc for people that maybe don't have internet access, that want to play Strong Bad's cool game for attractive people, but they don't want to download each episode individually. You could go and buy the disc that has all 5 episodes on it. They're doing something similar for The Walking Dead. So in December, you'll be able to buy the game for $30. It'll have every single part of all 5 chapters, which only costs you $20 if you buy it digitally, but it has a bunch of added extras on the disc as well to make it worth the $30.
And you're also paying for the disc and the box and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. So. And they're doing something really interesting. They're coming out with a collector's edition for an episodic game for $70. So it's like, what? This is like $40 more expensive than the game. And then I look to see what's in it, and it's coming with a 1,000-page graphic novel called The Walking Dead Compendium, which basically takes the first 48 issues of the Walking Dead comic and puts it into one bound trade paperback for $40, and a bunch of other stuff with it as well, like music and other things that they're putting in it. I might actually buy this just to have it. I mean, I've read most of the comics, but damn, that's a really sweet bonus. And it's only available here in this like collector's edition release.
Yes. Now, you can get compendiums, but they don't have the same cover of this. Compendiums are sold. And they're kind of like Omnibus, but Omnibus is like the entire series after the series is done.
Yeah, the trade paperbacks that Walking Dead has, I think they only collect about 12 issues in one trade paperback or something like that, right?
Yeah. No, actually, it's less than that. It's about 5 or 6.
Oh, really? It's that little?
Yeah, but like trade paperbacks themselves have what the hell is it? Like 8 or 9 issues inside of the trade paperback. So the compendium is like, with this 48 issues, you can buy the same thing at McNally Robinson, but the book itself is like $65. It's hardcover, it's on bigger pages, and it's like $65. So at that point, if you wanted to go and buy that, you're essentially getting a game here for free. I mean, the deal is unbelievable. the thing that I really, really like about this is that, you get this nice box, you get the compendium, you get the game, but there's also all these little other things that they're going to be putting inside. I mean, I have all of the trade paperbacks up to the most recent issue, which is issue 17, I believe. 18 gets released in December, I believe the day before Christmas. And I've got them all here. I really, really want it, but there's no need for me to have it because I own all this stuff in other, in other mediums. So, but I think it's an absolutely brilliant deal. I mean, if you don't have The Walking Dead, you're looking to get into it, and you're looking to get into the game, holy crap, there's no better way to do it than this. You got to wait until December, but still.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's on the PS3 and the 360 too, so that's great.
Which is great. And the thing that I like the most about this is it's basically just reiterating and strengthening the fact that the game is closely related to the comic, not the TV series. So yes. People that maybe don't know the comic exists, this is going to get people interested in the comic and start doing that stuff.
And I mean, when you say that, it's not like it follows the comic, but it's a little bit closely.
Exactly.
It's more closely related to the comics mythos than the TV series.
Yeah.
But what I like about this entire series in general is that the comic is the comic, the TV show is the TV show, and the game is the game. And they borrow just enough from the source to make sure that everything is fine and you're still in that same world, but they don't blow, they don't let the cat out of the bag on what's going to happen in the comic book or the TV show. You're always guessing, and that's one of the great things about playing this game is that I have no idea what's going to happen next, and it just puts me on edge.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. So yeah, there you go. Walking Dead available in regular or collector's edition, whatever you choose, and that's coming out in December. So yeah, check it out. All right, man, that's gonna about do it for this episode. Unless you have anything else to finish with before we get into the contact us.
No, that's it for me.
All right, guys, thanks for everybody that dropped into the chat room, everybody that's been watching and not chatting. Chat with us next time. We want to hear your lovely text voice and
come on,
interact
Trevor.
with you. Yeah, exactly.
You guys been quiet the entire
Especially
night.
Trevor. I don't know what he's doing in the background
now.
Let us know what you think. Head on over to vgpodcast.com. We have forums. Go to vgpodcast.com/forums and join in with the chat there. There's a lot of people talking, but it's the same dozen people that are talking every day, and we'd love to get some fresh blood because we want to have more awesome talking there. Let us know what you think. Email us at vgpodcast@gmail.com so we have something to read in the next episode, or you can call our voicemail line, which is area code 505 VG Podcasts. All right, everybody, that's going to about do it for episode 12 of the bonus stage. Thanks for joining me again, Jeff.
No, thanks for having me.
And well, it's our show, so I'm not having you.
Well, you always say thanks for joining me like it's my choice.
It's a habit that I do with all my shows. I don't really know what that means. All right, guys.
It's good to be here is what I'm saying. Good to be here, everyone.
There you go. That's better. And I'm going to choose more random music next episode, so be awesome. Prepared for more random stuff. All right, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
Cool. See ya.
Later.
Let's get started.